All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you. And the saucy drama of Luna, it just never stops. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Terraform Labs caught moving $4.8 million through a shell company. So Do Kwon may have just been caught laundering money through Terraform Labs into a Korean shell company called Terra Labs. Well, because the market cap of Luna was pretty tremendous and all the money's just gone. So I wonder where it went. It makes a lot of sense. Now, this article, it has a little bit of grammatical errors in it, so possibly from Korean origin, so who knows here, but stick with me on it. It appears that Do Kwon may be in for more legal trouble as allegations arise accusing him of further financial crimes. Fatman Terra, which is a Twitter handle who seemingly never sleeps, has released information tying Do Kwon to a blockchain consultancy firm, Terra Labs. So a Korean news site also reported on this. National Tax Service was caught by the fact that last year Terra received a virtual currency worth about 6 billion won from Terra. Do Kwon was fined last year for tax evasion in order to pay 10 billion won, about $80 million in taxes. The amount is expected to rise over time as only realized gains or taxes are taxed for cryptocurrency in South Korea. The new allegations suggest that this is not the only crime for which is now being investigated, which I'm not surprised for with Luna. Given the increased number of legal battles on the horizon for Terraform Labs and Do Kwon, it is even more disconcerting that the entire Terraform Labs' legal team reportedly resigned in a mass walkout last week. That's always bad when your entire legal team just walks out, considering legal teams usually defend you in bad times. That's usually what they're for. Considering legal teams defend serial killers, so that's bad. That's usually really bad. The latest allegations suggest that Terraform Labs' sister company, Terra Labs, received 6 billion won, $4.8 million, from Terraform Labs. While this could be a completely innocent transaction for consulting services, just a cool 4.8 million for consulting services. Hey, let me just say that my consulting services are on the table. Terraform Labs or any other crypto firm out there, and I will charge 25% of 4.8 million. So that's huge value. Just let me say that that's huge value. So 4.8 million, insert the Drake meme, go like this, and then insert MrSotko and go like this, right? 25% less. The recent actions of Do Kwon to remove any association of himself to Terra Labs make the transaction appear suspicious. It sure does. The Korean news outlet KBS used a pseudonym for Terra Labs, calling it Company K. However, there are references to Terra Labs several times alongside Terraform Labs, suggesting it's the company in question. I like the pseudonym for Terra Labs, and they call it Company K. That's not much of a pseudonym. It's just Company K. It's the same initial letter. Not a good pseudonym, guys. Maybe Koreans aren't good at pseudonyms or something like that, or I don't know what that is. Like Company K, that's not a good pseudonym. I'm really caught up on that at the moment. The official identity of the company, as reported by KBS, cannot be confirmed at this time, but Terra Labs will be cited according to the allegations of our sources. Further, there is evidence linking Do Kwon to Terra Labs through patents filed by the company. In addition, KBS reported the news in the following manner. This is a blockchain consulting firm, K in Song-Soo-Dong, Seoul. The office with the lab sign is full of computers. It's full of computers. Offices are usually full of computers. That's suspicious. It may be reasonable to assume that KBS was attempting to leak the name without saying it outright. Consulting firm K. Office with the lab sign. Further, Do Kwon amended the original Luna revival plan to remove reference to Terra Labs in a highly suspicious move. A section that identified roles and responsibilities for the new Luna blockchain contained a reference to TFL Terra Labs, but has since been amended. So according to KBS, Terra and Terra Labs appeared indistinguishable to locals, reporting employees in a nearby office also say they looked like the same company as Terra. KBS also reported that they attempted to speak directly with several members of Terraform Labs, all of whom declined to answer, saying only a small number of people, including CEO Kwon Do-young, know the true nature of Terra and Luna. So, is this bombshell evidence of some kind of laundering operation? No, this could actually be a that could actually be two separate companies, and one of them could just be a consulting service. But 4.8 million, that's quite a bit for a consulting service, but it is quite suspicious that all that money just went over there right before a crash. I mean, that is quite suspicious indeed. However, let me just do something here real quick. It is quite suspicious, and I really wouldn't be surprised at this point if Do Kwon moved all the money over, especially considering this guy's attitude on social media, calling people poor and having arguments with people all the time, and then it just totally crashes. Wouldn't be surprised in the least. So moving on to some different news. Solana, everyone knows, my absolute favorite blockchain because it's 100% uptime. It's absolutely the greatest blockchain ever created by humans. By humankind in the Milky Way galaxy. Solana blockchain suffers new network outage. You're like, again? Is this the first time? No, this is not the first time. Yes, again. Solana is facing downtime after the production of new blocks on the network has ceased. Again, it has gone down. Solana is absolutely, I think, the worst. Moving the comedy aside for a second, I think Solana may be one of the worst blockchains that crypto has ever seen. It has to be. It has to be one of the worst ones. I've been in crypto for a number of years now, and I have never seen a blockchain go down as often as Solana it has. According to data from Solana Beach Block Explorer, Solana's validators have not processed new blocks for the last 5 hours, causing a total shutdown of all of its applications. Imagine if there was actual money on Solana. Oh, that's right, there is. So that's a major problem, and it should no longer be called Solana Beach Block Explorer. Instead, when you go to the Block Explorer, it should really show that meme of the dumpster that's going down the flooded river that's currently on fire. That's what it should be. So let's go to that. And no, I do not see the meme. It should have the background. I really wish I could put that on there. Solana Beach Block Explorer. No, it should be Dumpster Explorer. There should be a flood. There should be a dumpster going down and a fire inside of the dumpster. And then when it reaches the edge of your screen, it should just replay. Like it should just be on loop, and then the dumpster should just come along. Because 6 hours and 40 minutes ago here, we could see right over here is the last block. So almost 7 hours. We're just going to call it 7 hours ago. There has not been a block. It is the worst blockchain I've ever seen. A recent post from Solana Status said that the mainnet beta now needed a restart from validators. I think it needs a little bit more of a restart. I think that's like when you call your ISP and you're like, hey, what's wrong with my internet? My internet doesn't work. And they're like, have you tried restarting your router? And you're like, yeah, my router doesn't work. That's why I'm calling you guys. It's like one of those. They're like, have you restarted your node? And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not my node. Validator operators should be prepared for a restart. On Discord, the post read, as of press time, discussion toward a restart was ongoing, and the validator Discord chat. Yeah, you probably need that. Anyway, moving on to some different news from the worst blockchain ever to probably a better blockchain. At least Dogecoin doesn't go down, at the very least, right? Elon Musk fires back at Dogecoin co-creator over grifter claims, which is probably not entirely wrong. Tesla and SpaceX chief Elon Musk took to Twitter to respond to Dogecoin creator Jackson Palmer's claims that Musk struggles with computer programming. Apparently, I'm struggling with just talking because talking is hard. It's also like 90 degrees as well. And I turn off any kind of AC and fans because otherwise you would just hear in the fan the entire time. And that's not really good for videos. So I have to withstand 90-degree heat while I make this video. So I just can't wait to finish the video until I can cool down. Saying that even his kids wrote better code when they were 12 than Palmer. In an interview with the Australian news site Crikey, that's That's a good one. Palmer said he had messaged Musk on Twitter several years ago after creating a bot that would detect crypto scams on Twitter and automatically report them. According to Palmer, during an exchange, Musk asked how to run the Python script, which led him to the conclusion that Tesla boss didn't understand coding as well as he made out. He's a grifter. He sells a vision of in hopes that he can one day deliver what he's promising, but he doesn't know that. He's just really good at pretending he knows, he said. Palmer said, "My opinion on him and all billionaires is that I don't care much for them." I kind of agree with Palmer at least a little bit. I don't think that Palmer is like an amazing coder or anything like that, but I agree a little bit because it was a while back that Musk actually suggested that Doge dramatically lower its block times and this, that, and the other thing, and it would just create a huge problem because I don't think Elon Musk understands crypto and nodes and things like that to a degree that if you were to lower the block time so significantly on Doge that it would create a huge amount of space on nodes, and that to the point where the average person could not actually run a node on just regular old internet, and you would have to start scaling up to like server level. And I don't think Musk actually understands that. Yesterday, Musk clapped back and didn't spare words for the Australian programmer either. "My kids wrote better code when they were 12 than the nonsense script Jackson sent me. Like I said, if it's so great, he should share it with the world and make everyone's experience with Twitter better. If he does, you'll see what I mean." Musk continued, indicating that he does possess some coding knowledge. When asked by one of the commentators what is the best language to write code, Musk said that Python would best suit AI and most other things, while JavaScript would be best for web stuff. For high performance or tight code, C++ spiced up with some assembly, added Musk. And Musk said that Python would best suit AI. I don't know. I used Python for Sotko coin, the greatest coin ever created. I'm the sole holder of Sotko coin. I think I gave out some Sotko coin to like one person or maybe a couple people. So I'm almost the sole holder of all Sotko coin. So I'm easily, of course, for like at least $400 trillion in wealth, something like that, obviously, because it's one of the most coveted coins in the world, and I used Python for that, and then it worked just fine for me, so fair enough. But and it's gone. Nearly 500 million worth of positions got wiped out in the last 24 hours. Again, I realize this is not a particular article or anything like that, just a Reddit post, but you'll see what I mean in just a second here. Nearly 500 million worth of positions got wiped out in the last 24 hours, and the numbers keep going. Well, because we had that rally yesterday, we went from like 29,000-ish Bitcoin to like 32,000, and we're kind of back to 30,000-ish Bitcoin or so. I'll get that price in just a second. And it says, "When will people learn? The market recovered slightly for one day and people aped into long positions again immediately. Why not wait a bit longer and see if there's just a dead cat bounce?" Again, I totally agree with that. Here's a problem I have with long and shorts. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed. If you've been subscribed to me for a very long time, you would know that I've never made a video on shorting or longing ever. I've never encouraged anybody to short or long. I think a few videos ago I thought that shorting Avalanche would have been a great idea, and that turned out to actually probably be a good idea because the Luna Foundation actually has quite a bit of Avalanche in reserve with along with UST, and I think a little bit of Bitcoin, et cetera, in their collateral with UST, and that actually brought down the price as well. So shorting that was not the worst idea ever, and it was kind of obvious at the time. However, it's not very obvious with crypto in general, and that's why I don't like longing and shorting with crypto. See, in the stock market, you can generally get a good feel for longing and shorting. Like maybe Apple has like a really bad quarter or something like that, or maybe they came out with a really bad phone, or like some company had a really bad PR, or there was a terrible meeting, or some kind of horrible event happened, right? And it's obvious that their stock is going to go down. It's obvious that their stock is going to go up, right? So you start longing or shorting or this, that, or the other thing, or the Wall Street bets thing with the GameStop, right? Those are like really obvious situations that have a very high statistical chance that you can get away with shorting or longing. Whereas crypto, we're at $28,000 Bitcoin, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to short, right? Obviously, it's going to go down. But then the next day you wake up and we're all of a sudden we're at 32,000 Bitcoin. You look at your phone, what, 32,000 Bitcoin? Why? Like, what is the point? It was Monday, it was Memorial Day. Why would it even go up in price? That's just crypto, right? And then you just got wrecked. You got totally wrecked. If you used 100x leverage, even 10x leverage, depending on how much money you decided to you decided to leverage, you just got wrecked. All your money's gone. It's gone. So depending on how you do it, I can't really promote that sort of thing, because you just get wrecked. So here's showing all those wrecked, 24 hours, $500 million in total liquidations gone. So it's gone. And right, and then that money's gone. So even if you longed, it's just like you longed for a little bit and maybe you're okay. Like if you started at, so like if you started here, I guess you're okay with a long still currently. But I would stop that long, you know what I mean? Like you're like, well, I longed for $1,000 and like, so you made a little bit. But you can see here that's the problem, is it's suddenly just up. You know, if people started shorting or people started longing, it's just all over the place, and there's no way to know, because there is no company behind it. You're really just relying on news to come out. That's it. But that's all I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed today's episode of FUD. But make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps support me a lot. And as usual, see you guys next time.